Anyway,
yes, let's go through the grid.
Let's do it. Let's move on very swiftly and go through the grid. So on pole, we've got Strathclyde. On second, we've got Liverpool A. Third, row 2, I'm going to do it Andrew style. Row 2, Birmingham C and UE A. Row 3, Leicester A and Bristol B. Row 4, we've got Huddersfield C and Edge Hill. Row 5, we've got Queen Mary and Birmingham D. Row 6, Northumbria A and Chester. Row 7, Leicester B and Swansea C. Row 8 is Durham A and York. And on that note, I'll hand the rest over to you, Yusuf.
Yeah. So row 9, we've got Sheffield Hallam A, Matt and UCLA. Row 10 is Oxford B and Sheffield B. Row 11 is Leicester C and Uni of Life A. Row 12, UWE B and Bath B. Row 13, Cardiff A, Edinburgh B. Row 14, Liverpool B and Bath C. Row 15 is Hisham Nasser in the Imperial B kart alongside Swansea D. Row 16, Sheffield Hallam B and King's College B. Row 17, Uni of Life C and Warwick D. And row 18 is, of course, Andrew Mather and Just Jacob. And the karts are now heading into the boot. So we will just have to wait as the pace car is pulling a little bit ahead. And that is, I can confirm, is Matthew Bolton, who is starting in second place for Liverpool A. So the pace car coming around the final corner now. Let's wait for them to pull off. The pace car pulls off to the side, and it looks like we're ready to go racing here. Matthew Bolton, will he be able to get a decent start? Not quite. It looks like Doyle will be able to hold onto the lead. We're going to have to wait for them to come through Oblivion now.
Jacob and Andrew have already made up a place on the man who was starting in 34th. So now we're going to head down into Christmas. The man from, I just read it all out. Strathclyde have immediately checked out of this race, and Liverpool hanging on to P2. It looks like UEA have overtaken Birmingham C.
A bit of an incident, actually. Someone runs wide on the exit of Christmas.
We've got
hands wave. And that's Corey Richards. He's lost the back end coming down into Ashby's. And he's out. He's going to have to pull his car back
right
round.
At the back of the grid. I can just see Jacob and Andrew moving massively through the grid. They are still line astern, heading into the first of the reverse Lesbo. Somebody in a not quite bandit suit, I don't think, or maybe it was having a look at Andrew. But Jacob, importantly, is in front of Andrew as they're now making their way through the second of the reverse Lesbos.
Adam Sears actually has made some really good progress. He's up to 5th now for Edge Hill, and he's right on the back of this train that goes all the way up to Matthew Bolton in second place.
Just for reference, Corey Richards weaving for some reason. He is just coming into the boot. The very next kart is now coming out of the boot. So Corey Richards is losing a massive amount of time with that spin. So it is effect. Could that potentially be UE's championship fight out? Because
Adam Sears actually up to 3rd. So
I believe he's actually in 4th.
Sorry. Oh yes, fourth. My bad. Doyle's just so far off in the distance.
He is checked out. I think he had about 6/10 of a second over Liverpool, who's qualified technically third and started second.
Yeah, that's what 7/10 advantage in qualifying looks like come race day.
Exactly. We've got a spinner as well down at Ashby. I can't even see where Corey Richards is at the moment. I think
he's caught back up. I think he's behind the guy with the green helmet.
Yes, he is actually. Yeah, okay. So Corey Richards looks like he's going to make up a few places. And, we've got something going on coming out of the second of the reverse Lesmos. Yeah. A couple of karts going surfing. There was some over the grass as well. I just spotted. Let's have a look at what's going on. So Pietro Brzezinski for the Swansea C team has jumped up to 11th, and York are directly behind him as well. So we'll keep an eye out for that fight. And it looks like the York man, whose name you know but I've forgotten, is actually not too far away from Pietro at all.
Yeah, Harry Curtis doing a decent job at the minute. We told him, just don't bin it, and he's doing that at the minute.
I said that to Ben Goodwin yesterday in the sprint race, and he just completely didn't ignore me. Josh Holmes is in the way. Let's see if we can get him out of the way. Hang on, I've got the Swansea.
Meanwhile, in second place, Matthew Bolton starting to pull a bit of an advantage. But there's actually a massive accident into the boot. Someone's gone right into the tyre wall there. We've also got a yellow flag out at Marshall Post A, as well as heading down into the second of the reverse Lesmo.
They have actually taken the things down, so we can now see corner 1 and turn 2. I don't know why I said corner 1 and turn, but I've just got James Derrick to move Mr. Josh Holmes out of the way.
I think that's car 87 that's gone. Sorry, 67 that's in the wall, in the tyre wall there. Yes, Warwick D has. I don't know how they've done it. Maybe they could have lost the back end or on the exit of the boot, I should say.
I think have we seen York overtake Swansea D? No, we haven't. They are still behind, and Swansea D going a bit of a gap, but it looks like Adam Sears in the Edge Hill kart has dropped down a little bit, and there is a... Oh, how many is that, would you say? Seven-way
Adam
fight?
Sears runs wide, and he's going to lose the position.
But he's going to get it back immediately. He's given... I think he's coming into the pits. Why is he coming into the pits?
I don't think he's had a penalty. He's got his hand up.
Has he got a technical issue?
Adam Sears, let's just see.
We haven't got...
I can't see anything. There's black flag.
Black flag for Leicester C. There's nothing for Edge Hill. I don't know why he's coming to the pits.
That's really strange. Wait, hang on a second. Could he have mistaken a number? Leicester C is 110 and he is 68. So
if he's made that mistake, he's only got himself to blame, really.
Yeah.
I'll have no sympathy for that. But I did just see there is an epic fight now going on for what looks like to be 6. There's about 15 karts, or maybe I'm over-exaggerating a bit, 10 karts. But it looks like that's York going for the Swansea D pit to Brzezinski defending against. Defending against who? What's
Harry Curtis.
So we're coming now into the second reverse Lesmos, and the two guys at the front who I can't quite tell who they are, they're both in blue suits and white helmets, so they are pulling a little bit of a gap, but it is getting very spicy just behind them. There are about 10 karts in line astern coming into the boot, and now as we head out of the boot, there haven't been any overtakes for a moment, although I've just seen what looks to be the 15...
That's actually kart 40. It's Birmingham C who is in that first the first kart with the blue suit. So they've actually moved up the order. They're now in 7th place. Birmingham C are in 5th. Birmingham B are in 7th. So good job from the Birmingham guys. I'm sure they will have the Birmingham B by holding everyone up.
Just to mention Bath B as well, they obviously have to. They are still in 24th place, so they've neither gained nor lost in the opening 5 minutes of this race. It looks like somebody's just overtaken Pietra into the first of the reverse Lesmos. Your York man Harry, I think his name is.
Yes.
Harry Curtis?
Yes, Harry Curtis.
So Harry Curtis has also lost a few places. So there's a gap now with 2 fighting for, I'm not entirely sure what position that is. There's exciting development has just happened outside the commentary boxes. There was a dog watching on as well, the golden retriever, I don't know. But
actually, you're up to 11. So your Swansea driver is now in 9th place. So Swansea C number 53 in 9th. York are in 11th. This is the Northumbria A kart that's in between the two of them.
Oh, big sorry, Pietra just went down the inside into Inkermans on the hang on, let me just have a look. I've got to turn around to look.
And Harry Curtis,
the Birmingham D kart. So Swansea D and Birmingham D having a bit of a ding dong. And who is that in the way? I think you did actually just mention it's Northumbria A in the way of York. So the fight between York and Swansea being temporarily halted, but it looks like Northumbria might have a go at Swansea D into the boot, but Pietra defending for the moment as we look out.
Also, Matthew Bolton starting to put in some quick laps and slowly closing in on Doyle. Just to remind everyone, Doyle racing for Strathclyde in the lead. Huddersfield C falling off a little bit from Matthew Bolton in 2nd. So we'll have to see if Bolton can close in onto Doyle at the lead of this race.
Absolutely. I think Doyle might have been lapping someone on that lap, unless that is just simply the man in 2nd place anyway. As though, although we see Liverpool going down the inside of, is that the 90s? What
is that Corey Richards?
That is indeed Corey Richards. So Corey Richards is now being lapped by the leaders. The leaders he was fighting at the very start of his race before he spun off at Ashby.
It'd be interesting to see whether he'll actually battle for this or just let them go and have their own race.
Well, there are no blue flags in the BUKC apart from the blue flag that the guy in front of me got yesterday. I've never seen.
Wait, really?
Somebody got because it was the final lap of the endurance race, and the guy just I knew the leader was right behind me, so I let him go into Christmas. And then coming into the second of the reverse Lesmos, a blue flag was issued for the kart just in front of the leader. He let him through, and then I got through as well. I don't know if it was the position, but it was an overtake on the final lap.
Oh, and we're seeing on the Digi flag a contact warning for number 1.
That's Mr. Jacobs, so we completely
just
forgot.
Jacobs, he's down in 21st actually, and where is our man, Mr. Andrew Matthew?
I can see him. He looks like he's about to do an overtake on a man in the Banshee, but it hadn't quite worked out. He was a little bit too far back coming into Ashby.
He's in 15th.
So Andrew is actually coming onto the back of the Swansea B and York battle, as I think it's still Northumbria in between the the Swansea man and the York man. I think I'm calling Pietra still in Swansea D. He's 100% in Swansea C. Speaking of Swansea D, where are they? They are in 27th place. So Tom Tithcott John doing actually a very, very reasonable and solid job for the Swansea D team at the moment in what is his very first race in the BUKC, his very first race in the BUKC Inters.
Also, Birmingham C are currently 5 seconds behind the Bristol, but they are lapping about almost half a second quicker at the minute. So they're slowly closing in. We've got 15 minutes left, so that should be enough time for them to gain a place. And as it stands, every single position is going to be important in this battle between Birmingham C and
absolutely,
Bath.
and especially with Bath B still down in the lower reaches of the 20. I think they've fallen down to 26. So I think it must be their slow driver for out in this race, because obviously the other guys there are all towards the front. Where we've just seen Mr. Andrew Mather, and now so Northumbria A they are now no longer a part of the battle with Swansea and York. I think they've overtaken Swansea now.
Your Swansea driver's got clear through, so he's got some clear air now, so will be a pit. He is in the white suit, correct?
Yes, he's in the white suit and black helmet. He's also got a neck protector on as well. So
he's in 9th now, and our York guy is in 10th, half a second behind.
So Northumbria A has disappeared somewhere, unless there have been other overtakes at a certain point. I can't see Northumbria A. I think they must have thought Northumbria A are down 21st. So we've obviously missed some sort of incident going on with Northumbria A's. They are out.
Andrew Massa actually looking for the outside.
Getting an overtake done into the outside of the first of the reverse Lesmos, and he now goes marching on. So we've got 9th and 10th. He is now in 12th for the Uni of Life.
So 12th place for Andrew Massa. Good climb, considering he started all the way at the back of the grid alongside Jacob Harris, who is in 18th place now. Just going to take a look as they come across the lines. What kind of lap time is a 54.9 from the Strathclyde part of Doyle. However, 54.9 also coming through from Matthew Bolton in the Liverpool A.
So it's honours even in terms of lap time for our two leading cars. I think Liverpool have got Birmingham C right behind, no, Huddersfield C, sorry, right behind.
We've got a great battle for 7th time coming up. We've got Birmingham B ahead of Durham A, and then we have the main battle of the race for us anyway, Swansea C and York.
It's very close, and it looks like Peter going to have a look down the inside of whoever that is. I'm really not keeping up with who is who. Durham
and
A.
Andrew Mather actually going to go down the inside into the second of those reverse Lesmos.
So now we've got a three-way fight for 9th place for the three people we care about most in this race. Obviously, I know Jacob's in this race as well, but
which one's Jacob?
It's the one with the number 1 and blue number plate, so everyone can know that it's definitely Jacob.
Right. Okay. I'm trying to think what helmet he has on, because
he's got a bandit suit and it's like an orange and black helmet.
Okay. However, what's happening?
I think that's him just there going through. But we're switching back to the fight for 9th, or actually no, we'll go to the fight for 10th, because Andrew Mather is right on the back of Harry Curtis as we head into Ashby, and it looks like for the moment New York man holding on to the position.
Andrew Mather going to go for the inside into the first of the reverse Lesmo. Harry Curtis holds it around the outside. Great defending drive from him, but how long will he be able to hold off Mr. Mather, as we have now 4 nose to tail heading into the boot. This group is indeed led by the Durham A car.
Birmingham D checking out a little bit from this fight for 8th now, so I think 7th is looking the best for Birmingham D for the moment, but it's getting very spicy for 8th place. Pietra, Harry, Andrew flash through, and we're heading into the first one. We can't see from this angle. If we stretch around, we can see.
Harry Curtis has got a really good run. There's a yellow flag.
There's one of them.
Someone's been there on the exit of Ashby actually, so no one's going to be able to overtake. He's going into the hairpin.
I'm not going to lie, is that Jacob Harris?
Please be Jacob Harris.
It
Who's falling through the order?
We won't. I'm going to look out for the special number 1 plate. No, it's not. No, it's definitely not Jacob, because Jacob's just going through there. But they have got very similar helmets and race suits on. Yeah. The man's still stopped there, so we're going to cut back to see. It looks like Andrew's going to go from overtake on Harry, but Harry brakes very well. But he slid through the first part of the boot. So is Andrew now going to have a shout into the exit of the boot? He's going down the inside Harry defending on the outside, and that has allowed him to hold on to the position. And there's a man in an orange shirt. I haven't seen it.
Who's an orange? That must be Leicester B, actually.
That Leicester B getting involved in this fight as well.
Right. The 82 car.
So Andrew being held up by the Swansea and York, then we definitely told them to do that, didn't we?
Yeah, 100%.
100%. We made sure our guys knew to hold up Andrew if he was to come through. And now Leicester B doing a very good job for us as well. Durham have caught up now, caught up to the back of Birmingham D. So this fight for 7th is by...
Actually, we need to look for 2nd place because Huddersfield C, I'm just checking who that is. That's Cleo something, has caught up to Matthew Bolton, and there's only a 3/10 gap.
They've just flashed through. It is actually very close between them as they come through the first corner. Liverpool, or was it named Matthew Bolton?
Yes.
Maintaining the lead for the moment. I think I'm trying to spot where the Strathclyde car is. He's either just coming into Inkerman or he's just coming into Ashby. Let's just have a quick look. I think he's just come out of Ashby. So he's in
the Lesmos. The reverse Lesmos. I'm sure that's his help.
Yeah, that's definitely.
You're right initially. Yeah, it's the yellow, the Rossi style helmet that he has. I think it's a Rossi style. I don't know. Anyway, looking back up ahead, we've still got that. Behind. We've still got this 6-kart battle now, which is all headed by the Birmingham B car in 7th place. So we've got Birmingham B, Durham A, Swansea C, York, Leicester B, and Uni of Life B, which is of course Andrew Mather. So from 6th place from 7th place going all the way down to 12th. So
all Leicester going for a move on Harry and York, so it hasn't quite worked out, and now they are getting properly bumping up against each other, and the gap is now falling into 2 battles of 3, 1 for 7th and 1 for 10th. But Harry Curtis, sorry, I can't remember the names. It's too exciting.
At least you remember the first name.
I've got Harry. That's decent enough. Hang on, Durham going for a move on Birmingham B.
There's a bit of contact. This might help your Swansea driver out.
It has Leicester, but Leicester B have got past York as well. But
Andrew Mather's going to follow through down the inside of the King.
It is Harry Curtis losing a bit, but there is a lot of contact going on there. There was a bit of gesticulation there from Andrew as we head into the first of the reverse Lesmos. It's still as you were in terms of 7th, 8th and 9th. There was a yellow flag out as well. Someone has killed the tyres at the exit of the second of the reverse Lesmos, sorry. And as we're now heading down to the B, Birmingham B still maintaining the gap. This is a proper fight, this one is.
Yeah, it's a great battle at the minute, and it's just been going on and on. Leicester joining in the fight as well, which has really spiced things up. But at the front, is that Corey?
That is Corey Richards. Corey Richards is going to be lapped by this.
What happened to his pace after he spun off on lap 1? He's just dropped back completely.
I don't know. Maybe he's lost motivation, or his morale's just dipped a little bit. It can happen being that far back, literally just on the first lap. There's a yellow flag out for some more tyres. There's someone's absolutely binned it coming out of the first of the reverse Lesmos and is on the grass, and all the tyres are strewn everywhere. And now Corey Richards properly getting in the way of this fight, which is going to close up the field. And Andrew Mather goes for an overtake on Leicester B. So now Andrew Mather is now just behind Peter Brzezinski from the Swansea C team as Corey Richards defending into the boot. And that it's a bit awkward because obviously, and Durham has now overtaken Birmingham D. But Corey Richards is obviously a lap down. He's being lapped by these drivers. So should he be fighting because he's got the pace, or should he just let them go because he's not in the fight? That's the question in BUKC racing. Obviously,
it's one of those things. My personal opinion is if you don't have blue flags, just race.
I'm of the same opinion, but I feel like Corey should be aware that he is not in this fight. As Peter Brzezinski gets past the Birmingham B car, and that allows Andrew to come through as well. And is Harry going to have a look? No, because he's about to be overtaken.
He goes for it anyway. He rides the curve.
How have they not spun off? That was.
Where's the tyres gone? I swear there were tyres on the inside of Ashby.
There have never been tyres on the inside.
Okay, right. I'm completely deluded then.
Yeah. So Durham A now lead this fight for 7th. Peter Brzezinski just behind in 8th. And Andrew Mather just behind as well. Is Peter going to have a look into the boot? No, he's not at the moment. He wasn't able to get the move done. And Andrew looking for any opportunity to now get past the man in the Swansea C kart. Corey Richards still at the front of this pack, holding everyone up. I think it's definitely fair to say he's holding everyone up. He has just not got the pace at the moment.
And Harry Curtis has managed to find a way back through on the Leicester B kart. So
Durham A look like they're going to go for a move on Corey Richards to lap the man from Uni A.
I think
is Pietro going to get through as well? Yes, he has. So Pietro has now put a block between. Oh, he's gone for something down into Inkerman. So Swansea C now take over 7th place. Fantastic there. Very optimistic from Pietro right there. And now Andrew's going to get past.
There's an incident in Ashby as ran. It was the Birmingham D kart ran wide, which caught out the Leicester B, and that meant my man Harry Curtis was able to find a way through on both of them. But at the front right now, you've got.
Hang on. I've just been told that the lead of this race has changed.
Wait, what? Strathclyde has a contact warning. They've got down to 3rd.
Strathclyde are in 3rd. What's happened there? Did you see what? Oh, he's.
So
that must have been
all 3 of them are separated by about a second now.
So we've got a lovely man on the side here, reliably informing us. We were concentrating so much on the fight for 7th, we completely missed the fact that the lead of this race has now changed. It's now Liverpool from who's that?
Matthew Bolton.
Liverpool from Huddersfield from Strathclyde. Strathclyde, who I could have sworn they just completely checked out, obviously getting held up by a back marker. Strathclyde duly forcing the back marker all the way onto the grass. He's got a contact warning as well, and he's actually now lost he's a couple of lengths back from the leading pack.
Also looking at our key battle for 7th place, your Swansea C driver has pulled off into the distance, while my York driver has now caught up to the Corey Richards
Shall we
train.
say, if you keep an eye on the battle for 7th, I'll keep an eye on the battle for the lead.
I think that's a brilliant idea.
Right. Oh, so speaking of which, Strathclyde have just gone for an audacious move down the inside into Ashby. It was 3 wide coming into Ashby, and now Strathclyde has got back past Huddersfield, so he's now going to go in the hunt for the Liverpool man. We've got just under 5 minutes of this race to go, and Liverpool with Matthew Bolton have got a little bit of a lead at the moment, but I'm sure that Strathclyde are going to catch up to the back of him.
And trying to look again for our battle, I kind of lost it for a second, but it's still your man in the Swansea C kart who is too far behind Leicester A. He's 11 seconds down, so the kart in front is just a back marker.
He's letting him through as well. I think he's coming into the pits, or he's doing what Corey Richards probably should have done, really, just getting out of the way of a fight that he's not involved in. I've just noticed that Harry has now been overtaken for, what would that be now?
For 10th place by the Leicester B kart. They're still going at it, you know, as I think that's one of the bar drivers gets well out of the way down the start-finish straight.
Indeed. Meanwhile, the gap looks roughly the same at the front.
Oh, Andrew Mather going down the inside into Christmas. I think he'll be able to do it. Who is that on, actually?
That's on Pietro.
Yeah, so he's up
Corey Richards. Corey Richards has just gone over the grass, and he is now out of the way. It looks like Birmingham D are going to be able to get past him as well, coming into Ashby. He has got past him, but he's over.
Cut back.
He's over Curtis. So Corey Richards not doing what that man in the rather colourful helmet did, and just letting people he's not racing through, which again we've been discussing it. It's controversial, but there are no blue flags in the BUKC.
I think we need an official ruling from JV on this, but then again, there's no way to know if you're actually racing with someone or not.
Exactly.
Could you imagine the mayhem if marshals had to know who they're blue flagging or not?
They have blue flags in Club 100 racing itself, so I feel like it's something that could potentially be introduced in the BUKC. But at the same time, maybe it's in situations like these. If you are fighting too hard against people who are lapping you, you should be given a warning sign or something, or something of the sort.
But we've got just under 3 minutes remaining, and I think Doyle is slowly closing in on Matthew Bolton. The gap is under a second now. We'll wait to see. I'm waiting to see their times as they cross the line. It's a 54.8 from Matthew Bolton, and it's a 54.8 from Strathclyde as well. New fastest lap of the race, but only 100 separating them. In fact, Huddersfield C also on a 54.8, so these three at the front lapping with great pace and similar times.
Absolutely. I'm starting to wonder, is there even enough time left for Strathclyde to overtake Liverpool? But we are coming up to about 5 back markers.
Look at this battle down the straight. We've got York on the back of Leicester B.
And Durham A falling behind York as well. Andrew has clocked out.
Matthew Bolton's lost the position. Doyle's found... Sorry, no, that's not Doyle. But Matthew Bolton has caught up to a lot of back markers, including the Liverpool B kart. So this might be the opportunity that Doyle needs, as they're all so close now in the middle of the boot. They're coming through the final corner. Can Matthew Bolton find a way through quickly and cleanly?
It looks like he's got through the first part. It's Huddersfield who have suffered from those 2 back markers, and now so Strathclyde are going to go in search of Matthew Bolton. It is so close now, coming into Christmas. He's got very late on the brakes.
It's nose to tail, but the next car is the Liverpool B kart, so we might see some team tactics going on here.
It would be great to see. I think it would be very difficult to pull off, but it looks like Matthew Bolton going to go to the inside of the first of the reverse Lesmos, and he's come very close. Strathclyde going to have a look down into the second of the reverse Lesmos. It looks like Strathclyde has got the move done.
But the cutback from Matthew Bolton, can he get the drive? And he's right under the tail. Doyle has to go defensive.
Doyle going very defensive. Is anything going to present itself?
Matthew Bolton gets a great cutback.
He has got a great cutback. He's got the inside line. I think he's going to get the move done coming into the final part of the boot, and indeed he does. He forces Strathclyde off, and Strathclyde gesticulating slightly as we come onto the final lap. He's not, Strathclyde very much not happy. I know he's got a name. I know you keep giving him the name, but I'm just calling him Strathclyde. I can't remember what it is. There's a yellow. Hang on. There's a yellow flag. There's a yellow flag going into the first corner. The Liverpool B kart is trying to overtake Strathclyde. But
Strathclyde's got a really good run out of Christmas. He's right on the tail. Can he have a go? Matthew Bolton goes defensive.
That's going to compromise him on exit as we come into heading up to the first of the reverse Lesmos. Matthew Bolton once again taking up a defensive line, but Strathclyde are going to have the the cutback for. He's going defensive once again. He's trying to mount the curb to get past Matthew Bolton, but I think that might have cost him. Matthew Bolton now got a bit of a lead coming into the final part of the boot. I think it looks like.
In fact, Huddersfield C might have a go at Doyle. I think that's him in the blue suit right behind.
I think Matthew Bolton is going to come across the line to win the second race of the intermediates, and he does indeed. He celebrates across the line, and Strathclyde Doyle, as you just mentioned there, he comes home second, and Huddersfield C in third. So we're going to look out now for the battle between Swansea and
Bristol
York.
B are going to come across the line in fourth. They've got Birmingham C and Leicester A just behind. So Birmingham C coming back.
York have just overtaken Leicester B for what I think must be 9th place. So it looks like Swansea C are going to finish in 8th as far as I'm aware. But it's across the line.
Oh, no, he didn't have the drive.
For Swansea C has just got the place. I think
what a finish.
That would make him in 8th place. So Swansea C in 8th and York in 9th. So that brings to an end that battle between our two teams. But the big news of the day is that Liverpool A fought off Strathclyde brilliantly. You would have.
We have to mention that Strathclyde, they had a big lead, but that back marker, we missed it.
We completely missed it. It was thanks to that lovely man standing next to us just to point out that the lead had changed hands. That let us know that, believe it or not, the lead had changed hands. And I love it when winners celebrate coming across the line.
It's brilliant.
You don't see enough of it because I think a lot of them are just used to winning, and they just cross the line like, done it again.
But I think that's the kind of situation where you have that last lap battle, you defend for all your life's worth.
Those are the best races to do well in. If you're still fighting onto the final lap.
So, do you want to run us through the final results then?
I will run you through the final results. So, as we've mentioned, Liverpool A were first, Strathclyde second, Huddersfield C third. Obviously, these results are all provisional. We'll wait to see if there are any penalties applied. But Brunel B taking fourth, Leicester A still Bristol B, sorry, taking fourth. Leicester A still slightly in the championship hunt, take another 5th place. Birmingham C in 6th. Uni of Life B in 7th, that's Andrew Madler. Swansea C 8th, York 9th, Leicester B in 10th, Durham A 11th, Birmingham D 12th, Sheffield B in 13th, Edinburgh B 14th, Jacob was 15th, Queen Mary 16th, Sheffield Hallam A were 17th, Chester and 18th, Uni of Life A 19th, Cardiff. You have to say that one, because I can't say it because it breaks me out in a rash.
Cardiff better than Swansea A in 20th, UWE in 21st, Bath B took 22nd, so a disappointing result from them. But then again, it's kind of even between Bath B and Birmingham C now from your race 1 and race 2 results. Liverpool B took 23rd, UCLA in 24th, Oxford B took 25th ahead of Imperial B and Sheffield Hallam B. UWEA in 28th.
That was obviously Corey Richards.
So
in what is a pivotal round for them, they have to win the round to win the championship. Corey Richards finishing in 28th place, having spun at the very first lap. I think
the pressure clearly got to him. He tried too hard, braked a bit too late, and maybe there was a little nudge from behind, but I think he just lost the back end.
It looked from our perspective, it looked like he just lost the back end, braking too hard into Ashby, which is so easy to do.
Yeah.
It's very easy to
downhill, heading in. It's just so
it's nothing to be ashamed of. It's just something that has happened. And to round off this grid, we had Bath C in 29th, Leicester C in 30th, Swansea D in 31st. So that's Tom Tifcott, John, climbing from where he started. So a very good first race for him in the intermediates. Then we had Uni of Life C, King's College B, Warwick D, Northumbria A, and rounding off this grid was Edge Hill, who came in very early on for some unknown reason. They only did 16 laps.
That was, of course, Adam's